Hey, it's John. I'm going to walk you through the process that we go through to set up a website. It'll just give you an idea of what's ahead, and then also let you know the parts of the process where we require your feedback and involvement, such as picking a theme and setting up hosting. Okay, let's jump into it. So first thing, we're going to be setting this website up in WordPress. The reason we do that, WordPress is by far the largest tool that people use to set up websites. It's by far the most flexible, and then also it's nice because it's free. So that's a huge benefit as well. And WordPress, you can create essentially any kind of website that you want within WordPress. So the flexibility is incredible. So the first step is getting a hosting account set up. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and you'll create an account, and this is where the website is going to live. And then once that account's created, you can set up user credentials for us, just pass them along, and then we'll go ahead and load WordPress, and that's the start of the process. Step two is going to be selecting, loading, and configuring the theme. So we'll help you and give you the different options for themes, and we'll also just the different things to look when you're making a theme. So yeah, just things like in terms of features, different themes, types of theme, type of site. Yeah. So once the theme is selected, then we're going to load that, and we'll do all the configuration and setup that's needed. The third part is selecting and configuring the domain name. So there are a number of places you can go to search for domain names. If you already have one, you can just pass it on to us. But if you don't, there's a tool that we like to use, Domain Name Generator, super quick and easy. And you can put in ideas for domain names. So let's say, I don't know, you had a smartphone blog. So you can go here and it'll tell you all the different options. So mysmartphoneblog.com is available. So it's awesome just because it really helps with that process of picking a domain name. It gives you some inspiration if the one that you want is already taken in this case. It'll give you the other options, some other similar options that are available. So that's a great tool to use. Once your domain name is selected, you're going to pass that along to us, and then we'll go in and we'll configure it. So we actually have to point what's called name servers to the new website that we've created. I won't get into the technicalities of that, but we'll take care of all that so that once you have the domain name picked, we'll do all the configuration and get it set up properly. Then we're going to go in and we are going to configure. We're going to configure the WordPress environment. So what that is WordPress, there are a bunch of things under settings that need to be done in terms of permalinks and all that sort of thing. I see permalinks here. So we'll go in and do all those configurations, and we'll let you know what we're doing and why we're doing it, just so it all makes sense. And yeah, you're part of the process and understand the reasons for everything. Also, we'll create a new master admin user for security purposes. Just leaving the default admin user has some reasons that makes it a little bit less secure. So we'll get rid of that and set up a new admin user. Okay, and then we're going to go in and we're going to set up automatic backups. This is super important. And the reason for that is things can always go wrong. Your website could be hacked, or you could actually change a setting or change something in your website that completely messes it up. Or even if you just want to go back to a past version, it's another reason. Like if you delete a page accidentally and you don't know where it went, having backups is awesome. Automatic backups especially, because then you know you're secure and you can just go back in and find the past backup. Again, this is an awesome plugin and it's free. There's a premium version, need it. So we'll set you up with the free version, and we're going to set up offsite backups. So everything goes down, you've still got those backups on Google Drive. So it's completely separate, completely free, and completely automated. So it's an awesome way of doing it, and it's really a best practice when you're setting up any kind of website. But yeah, WordPress makes it very doable. Then we're going to load the best free essential plugins for WordPress. So these are things that are applicable to almost every site, and are gonna help you out almost any type of site you have, whether that's a blog, e-commerce, anything like that. So for search engine optimization, just to make sure that your website is tweaked properly and the search engines are finding it, we're going to put Yoast on. We're going to set up SSL security. That's a requirement of almost any site, but it's not always configured, and it's not totally simple to configure always. So there can be minor little problems. So we're going to make sure that that's configured properly, and when people go to your site, they don't get a warning that it's unsecure. Then we're going to set up malware prevention software called WordFence Security. And that also does a few other things. It helps make sure that people don't log into your site as admins, and a few other things like that. Then we're going to set up image compression software so that anytime you upload an image to your site, it compresses it, and it just makes it so that your site loads quickly, which is helpful both for user experience but also for search engine optimization. If your site loads slow, you get penalized and you don't show up as highly ranked on Google. Then we're going to set up spam prevention software, just so you're not getting messages to your site all the time from bots and that sort of thing. And then we'll set up something called redirection. So what that is once you get up and running, there could be situations where you want to redirect a URL. So let's say you want to change the link for a page for some reason. This is just a really easy way of doing it. So this may not be needed right in the beginning, but it's easy to configure and just good to have there for down the road. Okay, and then we are going to set up a business email address, and we're going to configure that with Google. So what that is if you have a domain, what was the example we used before? So if you have a domain, mysmartphoneblog.com, you can set up an email, like in my case, john@mysmartphoneblog.com. So it's more professional, so that you're not using your Gmail account, and you actually have like a business email setup. So you're not using johnsmartphoneblog@gmail.com. But what we'll do is we'll set that up so you can actually access that through Gmail. The nice reason for doing that is just Gmail gives you a lot of free space. It's the easiest email to use. It's super easy to configure with your smartphone and with your computer and all that sort of thing. So it's just a really good way of going about it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get that linked up so you can log into your business email through Gmail. Then we're going to go and we're going to link up any social media accounts you have to your website. So what that is just having these links, and you can have them at the top or the bottom or on articles, different options. But it's essentially when you click this, it's going to take people to your Instagram page or your Facebook page or whatever that you use, your YouTube page, YouTube channel. So we'll get all those things. And then we are going to, optional if you want it, we can set up social media sharing buttons on your site. So that's an example of that. So social media sharing is here. So if you want on your articles or different maybe products on your site, you can have it so that somebody clicks the Facebook and then they can share it out to their friends on Facebook, or they can pin it with the Pinterest button, for instance. If you want that, we can set that up. If not, it's not required. Then we will create a Google Analytics account for you, and we'll configure that. Analytics is important because it allows you to see who comes to your site, and you can see the different trends and the pages that they're visiting and all that sort of thing. So it makes sense to set that up from day one so that you have that record of all the traffic from day one. And you may not care about the insights from day one, but down the road, at some point you are going to. And it's nice to be able to go back and see, okay, how am I trending? What pages are people visiting? What pages aren't they visiting? What's the flow? So Google Analytics is just a super useful tool, and it's free, and it's got all sorts of data that's just going to be crucial to you down the road, if not immediately. The next step in the process is we're going to set up a Google Search Console account. and we'll get that configured. Search does. It's like Google Analytics, but it actually shows more detail about the searches and how people find you through Google. So it'll tell you the keywords that they searched, how many times you showed up for those keywords, how many people click through to your articles or to your pages on your site. And just gives you really, really crucial insight so that you can tweak the meta tags and different things on your site and the keywords and the content and make it so that you rank higher and higher on Google and people are finding you. So we'll get that all set up and configured. And then we'll actually set up the pages on your site. So a front page or a home page, we'll set up a contact us page. So these are contact us, an about page, a blog page, or articles. These are the things that you see on almost every site. An about me, you'll see a contact, in many cases, publications here or blog. And then if you have some other pages that you want set up, we can go ahead and do that as well. But certainly we'll get the key pages, sort of the cornerstone pages of your site set up. Then if you have content already, like if you have another website that you want to migrate content over from, or if you just have some articles written, or you have some photos you want to put up, or just any sort of content that you want to get uploaded there, you can pass that along to us, and we'll load that in and show you how we do that. And then the last thing, which is optional, but we highly recommend, is we'll set up a lead magnet for you. And what a lead magnet is, if you don't know, you'll see them on all sorts of sites. And it's really just somewhere that you can capture people's email addresses. So this is one of the most popular blogs on the internet. And even here, like, they don't really sell much on this blog, but they've got a place for you to put in your email address so that when they release new articles, they can send you an email telling you that they've got a new article. And then, so it's everything from to e-commerce. So if you're selling products, is really valuable to have an email address from people, and then you can email them back later with product offerings or just letting them know when you've got something else they might be interested in. Do a drip campaign, all that sort of thing. So if you don't know much about lead magnets, we err on the side of just saying you might as well set it up. And so many business people who have set up websites and have become successful with online business have said, the one thing I regret is I didn't set up a lead magnet in the beginning. So it's a good idea just to set it up from day one, even if it's super simple and it's just a spot where it has an email address and then says, contact me. Give in your email and we'll contact you with news. It's good to get it there, and then you can tweak it down the line. So that's our process for setting up a website, and then we'll hand it over to you and answer any questions that you have and show you how to upload content and all that sort of thing when it's done. So that's it for this video. The next video is going to be going through the first step, which is showing you how to get hosting set up.